Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Driving Maul. I'll be your host today. My name is Pila Batot and I run the Grid Sports platform. We're just waiting for Jacques to join us from the Yellow Cap. And then we'll get on with proceedings. Let me take this off. Just fooling around with the hat. We're just waiting for Jacques to join us, and then we'll get on with proceedings. Around 10, Super Rugby preview. Oh, Lord. Jacques, anytime now? Jacques, anytime now. No. Anyway, just looking back at last week's results, we have the Sharks who lost to the Blue Bulls by 40 points to 10. I think that was one of the most improved performances by the Blue Bulls side. Waratahs getting man of the match in that game. Shock anytime now, boy. Doesn't look like Shock is joining us anytime. Jockey. Anyway, you can also just join in on the conversation on our Twitter platform. There's one at DrivingMaul. There's one at Grit_sports, and another one at their Yellow Cap. You can join in on the conversation. You can tweet us. You can hashtag Super Rugby Round 10 preview, and you can give us your opinions. You can even disagree with us with the things we say on the platform. We'll engage with you guys once we're done with the previews on our side. Jockey. Don't worry, gents. I'm not here by myself. We're just waiting for Jacques to log on to his Hangouts, and we'll get on with the show. Don't panic. We'll join you just now. He just sent me a text. He's logging into his Hangouts now. Don't forget to join the conversations on Twitter. the DrivingMaul. There's DrivingMaul. There's at Grit_sports. There's the Yellow Cap as well, at the Yellow Cap. Like I said before, if you disagree with anything that we say on the show, just in the nick of time, there he is, all the way from Pretoria. Jacques, how are you doing?
I'm well, and you, fella?
Good, man. Finally, you get to join us.
Yeah.
You look nice and refreshed with the red top and a yellow cap on the side, huh?
Yeah, there we go. Have to represent.
All right, Jacques. What do you have in store for us?
Oh, well, I think, just to get things started, I've got a little, I think we should have a little moment of silence just for the Sharks from the last weekend. So if you just bear with me for a few seconds.
All right, go for it.
Okay, that's enough. We don't need all of that.
Well played, Jacques.
Yeah.
Clearly you excited about last weekend's results?
Oh, no, yes. Where did that come from? I mean, unbelievable. I think nobody expected that. At least I must say, in fairness, I backed my team, but not. I had the Bulls to win by 5. So, I'll take the win any day of the week, but cheapest. I don't know what happened that day, and but I think at the end of the day, I think we need to give credit to the Bulls. We're talking about last week. Yeah, we probably shouldn't be talking about it, but just to mention quickly, I think it's really, really impressive what's been happening there, and all credit due to them. If you take, they went the same. I mean, besides playing one game less than the Sharks overseas, they also came back had to play a local derby straight off the cuff, even with not a full strength Bull team. They beat the Stormers. Fair enough, they had a bye. The Sharks came back. But 30 points, wow, that is. I think the Bulls really deserve more credit that they've been getting on social media.
All right, cool. Not to get too far away with the Bulls. We'll get to them just now. When we look at this weekend's fixture. So this week is round 10. Basically, we've got about 7 games of Super Rugby, 2 on Friday, 4 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday. So we're gonna hit it. We're gonna go straight to the first game. The Blues hosting the Highlanders in Auckland. Looking at the Blues, the way they've been running so far this season, they got a win last week against the Sunwolves. Good for them. But do you see the Blues upsetting the Highlanders this weekend?
No, I actually don't. I think now that the Highlanders are back from their bye that they had 2 weeks ago, they actually looked very good against the Brumbies. Well, let's put it this way. I don't know what happened for 60 minutes of that match, but then suddenly, boom, it just happened. Ben Smith, he looks unbelievable at the moment. I think the All Blacks are happy to see him back on the park. And no, I don't know what's going on at the Blues either. I mean, that's unbelievable to see a team go up and down like that. It's. I think from a New Zealand perspective, it's not really what they want to see. But and also, I really wonder how some of the team selections is going to affect the All Blacks at the end of the day, especially someone like Rieko Ioane and then a guy like Ben Lam who's overperforming. I almost want to say.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like they've stuck with Rieko Ioane at still in the midfield. I don't know how much that'll assist, or maybe it was information coming in from the top to try Rieko Ioane this season at midfield, because now they've lost Sonny Bill Williams, and basically they don't have anyone else to come and cover up in that position. So they tried Rieko Ioane at center.
Yeah, look, I wonder also how much. Look, we all know in New Zealand everything works towards the All Blacks at the end of the day. So they've already got 4 teams in the playoff for Super Rugby out of the 5. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this really bothers them, whether the Blues are in the playoffs or not. So maybe, like you say, I think maybe it's a selection thing coming from the top. But yeah, it's clearly not working for the Blues, and I don't see the upsetting the Highlanders. But yeah, the Super Rugby season has been quite a ride, if I could put it that way.
Just looking at the team basically. Rico Ioane seems to be back at 11, and Brent Gatlin also starts at 10. He's no longer in Perofeta. He goes back to the bench. But it will be interesting to see how the Blues come up against the Highlanders this weekend, because the last time these two teams met, the Highlanders came away as victors, winning 41-31. So, but that was in Dunedin. So now the Blues are at home. But the last, looking at a stat here, which says that the Blues have met the Highlanders 14 times in Auckland, 14 times, and the Blues have won 10 times out of those 14 times in Auckland against the Highlanders.
Oh well, maybe we've got an upset coming this weekend. Well, in my opinion.
All right, Jock, just give me your score. What is your prediction for this game?
So this week, just out of interest, we got a parody account for our new Springbok coach, Coach Rassi, who was very, very keen to do our weekly preview, which I am happily obliged to, because I've had quite a hectic week yet again. But he's gone with the Highlanders by 14. I'm going to back him up with Highlanders by 10.
Highlanders by 10. Let me jot that down so that next week when I call you out, you don't say I'm lying. All right, moving along to the next game, the Waratahs and the Lions. Okay, before we start with that game, I'm just going to read you a couple of stats and then we'll take it away from there. So the Lions, the last 2 matches that these two teams played were played here in Joburg. So basically the Lions have won those 2 games. The Waratahs have played the Lions 17 times throughout the duration of Super Rugby. So the Waratahs have won 14 games out of 17 against the Lions. Let's go.
That's at home, right?
So no. Basically, it's home and away. But the last 2 games played here in Johannesburg.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so 14 out of 17. What is your take on this? Lions traveling to Australia. It's their first away game. They're the only side that is left, I think, within the South African. They are the only side in the South African conference that hasn't traveled. So this is their 5-week-month Australasian tour.
Well, yeah. I mean, just to start off by saying, and taking nothing away from the Aussies, but the way things have been going there, we've had 3 of our 4 teams travel there, and none of them has gotten a win yet. So that is quite scary. The Lions, they've also had a bit of an up and down season of late. I think their fans are more worried than anybody else, but I think they started to show better signs again of in the last, especially in the last match, and which I think was good for them. I don't know how the bye is going to affect them, although I think it was a good thing, especially heading out on tour. I'm not so sure if that's going to carry much weight this weekend. Well, I would think so. Unquote, as a Bulls supporter, I won't mind that stat. I'm holding something, but you know what? Honestly, I think the Lions, and their team that they've put out is actually quite a good team. It's been the team that they've been playing most of the season. Well, most of the key players are still there.
Yeah, interesting to see Madosh and Tambwe back in the mix after being after not finishing the game against the Stormers at the time after scoring 4 tries. It looks like the Lions have pretty much kept the same kind of group or the same kind of team that beat the Stormers last time.
Yeah, look, I was also surprised that they took him off, but in all fairness, I mean, the game was won, and you also want to try and, heading out on a tour, you don't want to, you don't want to risk anything. So, and I'm glad for him that he's getting another chance, because, he's definitely a prospect for the future. Just that guy's big, and the speed that he's got, everything just, I don't know when last we've had such a big winger. Ruan Combrink being back, wow. I think the back line of the Lions is what's going to, obviously their back's got to do the work, but I think the power they've got in the back for this game is really, really good. Those two wingers alone.
Do you think they can continue? Do you think they can continue with the same performance that they pulled off against the Stormers at home? Think they can do the same thing in Australia?
Well, I want to see it. I want to see a team actually yet do that consecutively, because I don't think we've seen a team do that kind of damage, 2 weeks in a row. Well, there was a bye, but I know what you mean. And I don't know if they're going to put up the same performance. But I think they're going to win comfortably if they do win, obviously, which I'm expecting them to do. But yeah, out of the Aussie games that they've got on tour, this is probably going to be their toughest one, I would say. Because surely the Reds shouldn't be a problem. But yes, I thought that when the Bulls went there, and what the hell? Yeah, let's not go there.
All right, Jock, let's go for predictions. Waratahs versus the Lions.
So we're going Lions by 15. Me and the coach. Lions by 15. Yeah, I don't know if you're sounding surprised in a good way or a bad way.
No. I think it's quite a big margin for a team that's traveling to Australia and playing currently on form Waratahs side, if I may say that. For me, I'll go Waratahs by 5.
Okay, sure. Even you're a Lions man.
Waratahs by 5. All right, moving on to the next game. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next game, we've got Crusaders versus the Sunwolves. I don't think there's much to talk about there besides the fact that Israel Dag makes his return to Super Rugby. How much of an influence does a player like Israel Dag have on a young team like the current Crusaders crop?
Well, if his form from last year is anything to go by, and he still has it, then it's going to have a huge impact. I just don't know. He's been out for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So I don't know how rusty he will be. But I think you'll see the difference in him being back. Although this Crusaders team, yeah, they're something special. Let me tell you. I don't know what they feed them down there or what. Yes, yeah. But we need to get someone down in that part of the world to get some inside info so that we can get it onto the South Africans as well.
Yeah, I see there the Sunwolves team is not up yet, but the Crusaders have pretty much stuck with the same team that was on tour. But there's just one more stat, a concerning stat, if we can call it that, that the Sunwolves, if they lose this game, then they're on an 8-game losing streak, which is a record at Super Rugby level, apparently, from SuperRugby.com. But an 8-game winning streak. Do you think it's still, are they still an important side to have in Super Rugby?
Phila, this is such a difficult topic, actually, because I know there's a lot of people that say they shouldn't be there, and there's a few people that don't mind them being there. Not that I've really heard anybody say that, yes, they deserve to be there. But I must say, the rugby they've been playing this year has been, even though they've lost, I think they've been playing really, really well. They've scored some amazing, I think some of the most amazing tries in the whole competition has been scored by this team. They've given the Lions a run for their money. They've been up there in all of the games, even though they've lost. And I don't know if that is something to go by going forward. If this is showing that there is hope going forward or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to say. I don't want to be one of those guys that say, "Oh, this or that." At this stage of the game, I think they are making up the numbers, unfortunately. But who do we replace them with?
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, so if someone's going to tell me the Kings, then you know what? Sorry, I'm going to put my hand up for the Sunwolves rather. Not in no disrespect to our South African teams or anything, but I'm sorry. You know, if you look at the current Kings team, no ways. There's no way they can even half match the Sunwolves. I'll tell you now, the Sunwolves would beat the Kings home and away this year.
All right, not to get too carried away there. So, what's your prediction for Crusaders versus Sunwolves?
So, Coach Rassie has gone Crusaders by 60 plus. I don't know if he was
6-0.
60 plus. Can you believe it? Yes.
No way. That is outrageous.
No, that is just exactly that outrageous. I personally, I went with Crusaders by 32.
I'll go Crusaders by 25 points. I think that's more reasonable, considering the fact that the Sunwolves have been playing good rugby. In all due respect, they have been playing good rugby. So, I mean, I've been impressed as well at the way they compete at rug time. They're competing at lineouts. They're actually willing to also spread the ball around as well. They've got very quick and strong wings. So, I mean, to give them respect, I'll go 25 on Crusaders.
Yeah. Look, I think one thing, and the weather in Christchurch always seems to be terrible, especially this season. So that's also, I think, one has to take that into consideration. If it's going to be a rainy game, then I don't think we're going to see very high score lines. But it's still going to be high, but not 60 plus.
Yeah, no, definitely not 60 plus.
I'll be shocked.
All right. Okay, moving along. Now, the next game after that is the Reds versus the Chiefs. So I'll read a couple of stats for this game, and then we'll take it away. I will take it away from there. So the Reds have played 7 matches so far this season, and they've actually lost 4 out of 7. I mean, they've lost 4 out of 7, and they've only won 3 games. And the Chiefs have also played 7, and they won 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
The last 3 results between these two teams from 2015, 2016, and 2017. So 2015, the Chiefs won 24-3. 2016, the Chiefs won 50 points to 5. 2017, the Chiefs won 46-17. Take it away.
To start off, I saw a tweet yesterday doing it came past my timeline that said something about, I could be wrong, but it was something like the average was 125 to 15 or somewhere down there. It was when I saw that, I was like, "Cheapers, that is
high scoring, high scoring, definitely."
Yeah. I mean, I also, like you said, I don't think there's much in this game other than the Chiefs winning. The Reds, I don't know. A lot of people are talking the Reds up, and I don't see why. I can't get it into my head. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
well,
the thing is, they after the Bulls game, after they won the Bulls game, I mean, they went on to go beat the Brumbies at home. So basically, I think they've won all their home games, and they've only lost games away. So
and they beat the Jags away.
Yes, the Jaguares away. Those are the 3 games they actually won.
That was actually a good one, if I remember well. That was quite a good one.
It was a good one. It was a very good one. I mean, it's not an easy feat to go all the way to Argentina and beat the Jaguares at home.
Yeah.
So I see the teams haven't changed much. James Slipper is still the captain for the Reds, and I see Caleb Timu will be playing at 8. So Higginbotham is out, and then on the Chiefs side, Chalingatai is the co-captain at 15. I see they've gone Damian McKenzie's at 10 still. Tahur Roy Rangi, the number 9 the number 9 for the Chiefs is still in. Sam Kane is in. Boshier is in. Liam Messam moves on to the bench. But my prediction for this game, Chiefs by at least 8 points.
We've got them by 10.
10, 2 points in it. For me, I'll go Chiefs by 8.
I almost
Okay.
feel like it should be more, but yeah, I don't know. For some reason,
No,
I'm
the thing
holding
is,
back.
I'm giving respect to the Reds playing at home. So at
But
least there must be some competition.
yeah,
Some
well,
competition.
I think that's probably what it is.
All right. Now moving on to the Blow Bowler
I say,
hosting the Inform Rebels, by the way. So now looking at these stats, yeah, these teams have played five times. Bulls have won 4 out of 5, so which means they've won 4. They've only lost 1 game against the Rebels since the start of this competition. Rebels are in form, but not as informed as we thought they were until they lost to the Waratahs, and then all of a sudden, now things have been shaken up in Melbourne, and now they have to travel their first tour, coming to South Africa and facing an informed Bulls side. An informed Bulls side. Can the Bulls win 3 on the trot? That is my first question.
my answer is yes. And one of my main reasons is that Will Guinea is out of this game.
Yes.
And I truly believe that Will Guinea is probably the backbone of this team. I mean, I know it's one player I'm talking about, but he's been
No, definitely.
exceptional. This guy has been playing rugby like never in his life before. I mean, he's just unbelievable. I don't know if it's the new hairstyle or what it is, but geez, I think without Will Guinea, I think I want to almost say they've lost the plot. I know it sounds funny, but yes, I just believe he's very core to what happens in the whole game, in the team, and in the games.
Can we say that since him coming back from overseas, can we say that his rugby has improved because he went overseas, or he's been good, but he just, I mean, it's almost as if he's playing the same rugby, the same quality rugby that he played. I think it was back in 2011 when the Reds actually won the Super Rugby, 2011, 2012, around that season when he was still playing with
Yeah, I don't
who's the fly off again? Who's the Australian fly off guy?
like.
Cooper.
Yeah,
When he was playing with Cooper at 10 for the Reds, I mean, he had one of the best seasons of his life. And now seeing him playing with Murphy, who's the number 8, they link up quite well. They've actually given the Rebels team a good go forward platform.
yes,
But
exactly.
now they're gonna. Do you think they will struggle without Guinea, or it doesn't make a
No,
difference?
no, I think they're going to struggle. I mean, like I say, he's clearly that link between the forwards and the backs at the moment.
Yeah.
And no, regarding whether he's found form overseas or not, I don't know. I can't say yes or no, but he is definitely playing the best rugby I can remember him ever playing. Besides, like when he was much younger and that. So, I mean, we all know how he was even struggling to get into the Aussie side, whether that was a coaching thing or whatever the case may be. But yeah, at this stage of the game, he's undeniably the best number 9 in Australia, without a shadow of a doubt. So, but I just think that alone, yeah, I don't know. The Bulls are going to win. Let me tell you that. And I'm
All
going to.
right.
I'll be there.
Before you tell me the Bulls are going to win, do you think John Mitchell will stick to the same team that beat the Sharks last weekend, or do you expect changes coming up this week?
Well, there wasn't really anybody missing from that team that I can try to just think quickly. I don't think he will change. It's not normal for a coach to alter a team that's just come off a big win like that, unless obviously there's an injury or a little niggle that we're not aware of. I haven't heard anything from Loftus in that regard. So as far as I know, and I would imagine, I think John's going to stick with exactly the same team.
Cool. Your prediction?
So my call, and Rassi's call is Bulls by 18. And I think I might have, yes, I've gone with him there. It's a big
18.
score, I know. I think it is pushing it a bit. It probably will be lower, but that's, I'm putting it out there, 18. Bulls by 18.
Bulls by 18. I'll go Bulls by 12.
And it's also going to be a nice sunny day at Loftus. So I think if anybody want to watch a good game of rugby, come down to Loftus. It's really going to be worth it. And there'll definitely be tickets available.
That's a plug right there. Travel, go all the way to Pretoria and watch the Blue Bulls if you're within the Gauteng region, obviously. And then the match after this is the last game on Saturday, which is another South African derby. I think for me, this is another headline match. It's a very important match for both teams, basically, because both teams come off losses. But I think the Stormers will be well rested for this game, traveling to Durban. But on the Sharks side, I don't know. I think their heads might be down, but usually South African teams pick themselves up after a massive loss. So I expect them to come up and have a go at the Stormers. But to me, these teams are actually evenly balanced. Looking at their stats, basically these teams since 1998, the teams have played 26 times, with the Sharks winning 14 and losing 12. So for me, it's kind of evenly balanced. There's not much into that stat as it is. What are your thoughts on this fixture?
Oh, no, I agree with you. I reckon this is, from a South African point of view, more than anything, this is the game of the weekend. Also for all the wrong reasons, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I mean, when I saw this fixture of the last weekend, I was like, geez, how are you gonna what are you gonna do to make your actual final prediction and say who's gonna win this game? So yeah. I think I came up with a few things that got me to my final reasoning for backing who I backed. And so I mean, the Sharks, they played well overseas, well, more the New Zealand leg than the Aussie leg, because they got thumped by the Rebels. I think it was the Rebels, eh?
Yeah, it was the Rebels.
They got thumped by the Rebels. A week later, they smashed the Blues with 60 points. Well, not with 60, but they had 60 on the board. And they lost just by, was it 1 point against the Hurricanes? And sadly, then they fell apart. Well, not sadly for me, but for them, they fell apart in Durban a week later. The Stormers haven't won a match this season away from home. To me, that is the biggest concerning point for them. That counts against them as well. I agree with you. This is going to be a very tight match. I don't think we're going to see a very big score in this game either. I'm not sure what the weather is going to be like in Durban. Again, that should play a role. But I mean, it was bucketing down in Durban, and the Bulls pulled off what they did, which that is even another topic as well.
I was about to say it played no effect on the Bulls scoring tries.
But then the Stormers, got hammered against the Lions. So they both actually, like you were saying, the Sharks' heads are down. A bye doesn't really get your head up. Let me tell you that. I think, you're only as good as your last performance. And both these teams are coming off pretty much serious hammerings. So yes, I think it should be a good game to watch, because these are two teams that are even
more of an arm wrestle more than anything. I don't think we'll see fireworks in this game, because I think both sides will be very conservative, trying to tighten things up. The battle will be won. Whoever is dominant in that forward pack between the two sides, I think that'll be the difference between winning and losing for the Saturday's fixture, basically.
I think sorry, if you don't mind. I think also
carry on. Don't worry.
From a Springbok perspective, what you've just touched on with the forward battle is going to be big. With the Priya brothers, Sia Kulisi
in the mix.
And Peter Steff, all those guys. So I think this battle is really going to be won by the forwards at the end of the day. And, when the ball, whoever gets the best go forward ball at the end of the day should be, I think we should see some good sparks coming from the backs. And I think there's a few guys in both teams that really want to prove or make their mark, and put up their hands.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean, I think the third Bok alignment camp is in Durban, I'm assuming this week.
Yeah,
So
this coming week,
obviously,
yeah.
it's common sense. Guess who's in the stands? So yeah. So if ever,
okay, just to look at a couple of positions for this fixture, how important is it the halfback combination, the 9 and the 10 for the Sharks, and the 9 and the 10 for the Stormers?
well, if I
Looking
can
at the
say,
different styles of play, basically.
well, I mean, the team. I'm not sure if the Storm. I don't think either of the teams have been announced.
No, they haven't been announced. I mean,
Yeah.
looking at the previous
So
games, basically.
yeah, I'm assuming, and I don't know why Coach Robert Dupree is backing Schroeder the whole time, because I really think it's time that Gareth Wright gets an opportunity to start. I think this boy is super talented. He's got a lot going for him, and I think he can be a big asset to Robert Jr. Again, I'm starting to wonder if it's not time to give Cohen a go at 10, because he's clearly been the X factor. He's been this season. He's been the biggest X factor of that whole team. Spoon, of course, for me has been a bit down compared to what we've seen of him last year. But in all fairness, we saw a lot of good things of Spoon in Currie Cup. So this is Super Rugby. We know it's a different ball game. I think we're going to see a big battle again between the number 10s. Who's the Stormers number 9 at the moment? Because they're all over the show.
Duvenacher.
Okay, well, we don't know if he's back, because as far as I know, he was out with the last match.
Yes.
So they had a youngster there, and also Janu Vermaak.
Vermaak is also up in there.
Yeah, Duvenacher is probably the better of the three. But I don't. Duvenacher for me, well, none of the Stormers scrummies at the moment is really much of a contender for me.
And then looking at Damien Dialenda at 12 versus the Sharks. What's his name again?
Esterhuizen.
Esterhuizen, yes.
Sure. I was expecting a big battle between the centers with the Bulls and the Sharks, and it was non-existent. So
yeah.
It was non-existent. As was
I
Robert.
I think John Mitchell was very smart in trying to move play away from the 9, 10, 12 of the Sharks, so they couldn't get going with the crash ball at 12 all the time. The Sharks, that is. So if the Stormers can apply the same tactic, it might work well for them.
If they don't, I think we're gonna see what we've seen from Esterhuizen and this season again.
Yeah.
And they've been very, very good at it. It's not just crash ball tactic. I mean, they're actually finding the gaps,
and offloading in the
spaces. Yes, that's the exciting thing. I think about those two, especially this season, that it's not just standard South African centers take the ball and run into the first guy I see, which is a la Damien de Allende. Although Damien has shown a lot less of that this season. So it's going to be, I think, that inside center battle. Yeah, I think that should be good. And I hope it doesn't rain. I really hope it doesn't, because that's going to allow that to happen as well. Because if it rains, we're going to see a kicking game. No question about it.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I mean, both these teams have very exciting backs, back three even. It'll be nice to actually see, I mean, them running with the ball more often, to actually exploiting space and seeing how they defend and see how they attack as well.
Yeah, I think Gowan definitely has the upper hand on SP, I would say.
On 15, yes, definitely.
Sharks, wings, depending on who the wings will be, it will obviously be Spoo. I don't know if Mapimpi will be back.
I don't think he's back yet. I think Vovo still has that other number 14 jersey yet at the moment. Sorry, and then Cohen Bosch probably will start. I think they'll keep the same team, but we'll see. I mean, in the afternoon. That's why only our teams come out later on in the afternoon. So we'll see what changes they've.
What is your thoughts? What is your thoughts on Vovo these days?
Oof.
Don't be sentimental now.
Calm down. Calm down. Sure. To be honest, I haven't seen much of him. But, I mean, I don't think there's anyone else who's knocking at the door for that position at the Sharks currently. Sure. To be honest, I watched him overseas. He wasn't that brilliant at 15. That's why they moved Cohen Bosch into his position, and then they moved him to wing. And then coming back home, oof, even against the Bulls last weekend, there was nothing I could say that sticks out for me that says, "Whoa, this guy is keen to impress a Rassie Rasmus, for example, or to even impress his own coach." But I think the Sharks are lacking depth currently because it doesn't look like if someone is not performing, it doesn't look like they've got someone to put in that spot and drop the other guy. So that's one of the dilemmas that they have in Durban for me. But as from Vovo, to be honest, I haven't seen much. There's nothing that says
I want to
this
mention
guy
something.
is contending to be a Springbok.
I just want to mention something to you, and I hope the wrong people aren't watching this. But I don't know, and I'm trying to find out what the stat is. The last time any team in South Africa, whether it be the Boks or any one of our franchise teams, had two white wingers. And this has got nothing to do with transformation, so please don't get me wrong.
I'm
But
listening.
it's interesting. It's very interesting to see John Mitchell. The Bulls at the moment have two brilliant wingers, and it's quite interesting just to see how that's been working out. But it's a stat that we're trying to get hold of, which I don't know how we're going to get hold of. Because
But Conbrink has been there. There's been I think
I mean in one team at the same time.
Yeah, but isn't Ishmael the other wing for the Blue Bulls?
Yeah, but at the moment it's Kotze and Divan Rousseau. Ishmael's out.
Where's Ishmael?
Apparently he injured something in training. So I think I'm not sure if it's a hamstring or a calf. I think it's a calf almost.
That's why he's not there.
Yeah, and I just wish he can come back because this man is knocking on the box door so badly, and I think he's been.
Do you really think Ishmael is that great?
Oh yes, I do. He's big. He's got everything going. Tell me one game this season where Ishmael hasn't had an impact in a match or he hasn't scored every match, but he's had a huge break in every single match.
No, I know. I mean, even he's impressed me. I never rated him until I saw him play this season. But I mean, he's broken a couple. No, to be honest, he's broken a couple of tackles. He's made yardage. He's made a lot of meters. I mean, even in the Australasian tour, if I remember correctly, he had one break against the Reds from his own 22.
Yes.
And actually took it to the opposition 22. Even against the Chiefs, he had one of those 40, 50-meter breaks again.
And he scored against the Crusaders.
And the Crusaders. So he's been very decent, to be honest. He's been very decent. But I mean, he needs to. I mean, for players to be considered for box selection now, I think they need to be consistent and they need to play at least for 13 to 14 games of Super Rugby. Yes, you can't play 8 and then you're out for the rest of the Super Rugby season.
Yes, no, I agree with you 100%, and I think that's been his downfall so far.
Yeah, and I've noticed a lot of players don't actually get to play a full Super Rugby season due to either concussion or injury. I don't know whether the conditioning that we are doing is not up to scratch, or I don't know. But as for concussions, that's a totally different topic in terms of conditioning. But I don't know when guys start getting hamstrings or pulling quad muscles or pulling calf muscles.
Well, I'm getting worried about the fact that we're losing players in warm-ups minutes before the games. It's been happening in the last 2 weeks. So
Why are they playing warm-up matches before the main game on Saturday?
no. I'm talking about the pre-match warm-up.
Oh, pre-match.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yes,
look
yes,
what
yes, yes,
I
yes.
mean. The Sharks lost Beast on Saturday. There was someone last week as well. I can't remember now who it was. So yeah,
Those
it's
warm-ups shouldn't be that intense that guys are getting injured, to be honest with me. All the
exactly.
intensity belongs onto the field. All you can do is just elevate your heart rate, get nice and warm and ready. But everything else, the intensity, aggression, all of that belongs onto the park. Never
Yep.
mind what you're doing. Don't focus on aggression and wasting all your energy
Before the
warming up for
match.
the past 30 minutes, and then when you run onto the field, you bug it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, your prediction, Sharks and Stormers.
Sharks by 6.
Sharks by 6. That's Jacques. And then I will go. Ooh, looking at the record of Stormers coming to Durban, I'll go Stormers on this one by 3.
Sure. Okay, that's a good. It's tight. We know it's tight, so it could
No,
go
it's a tight game.
anywhere.
And then the final game of the weekend, which is on Sunday, the Brumbies hosting the Jaguares.
Ah,
Jaguares coming off a win against the informed Rebels. But it seems like the Jaguares are the Rebels' bogey team, basically. I mean, they've actually won all their games against the Rebels. They've never lost against the Rebels, home
and the
and away.
Lions. Oh well, not all the games, but yeah, the Lions
No,
away team.
yeah. Oh, well, now the Rebels basically the Brumbies won last year against the Jaguares in Argentina, and now there's a return leg playing in Canberra. There's not much to talk about for this game, but for me, oof, Brumbies at home. I'll just give this one to the Brumbies.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think we all said that with the Rebels as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Jaguares on tour can maintain what they did against the Rebels.
The Rebels, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that game looked very one-sided at one stage, and then suddenly it all just turned on its head. So anyway, yeah, but I mean, I think the Brumbies have shown throughout the season that they are there and thereabout, but they're not title contenders by not even close. But I also
Yeah,
reckon one should back the home team in this one. It's the second week. The Jags are on tour, so I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it to see how the Jaguares are as a touring side, how they actually are. But I'm backing it that they're not great travelers, if I can put it that way.
yeah, no, because they've actually only won one game out of 3 on tour, so which was last week's game was a first win basically. So
Uh,
I'm,
no,
I'm still
well,
I'm still sticking with Brumbies at home.
yeah. No.
I don't
I'm
see
with
any.
you. I'm with you on that one.
All right, cool. That brings us to the end of this week's Super Rugby Round 10 preview. Jacques, you don't want to make any changes, huh?
No changes, but what is your score for the Brumbies game?
I'll go Brumbies by 10, huh?
About 12.
Brumbies by 10. You saying
Yeah.
12?
I've
Jake
got
says
Brumbies.
12.
Yeah. Me and the coach, we're going Brumbies by 12.
Sheila by 10. Cool. I'll remind you of your results next week when we meet up with Paul. And then, as Paul does every weekend, can you tell everyone about the yellow cap, even though you're wearing a red top?
Come on, man. I must have my logo on a yellow top. I see Paul is influencing you way too much. But anyway, yeah. So we are a sports blog, a general sports blog. We cover most sports and stuff, although rugby is our main passion. Theyellowcap.com, that's where you will find us on the World Wide Web. And then we on Twitter. We've got a Facebook page, not a big thing. But our Twitter is where everything gets communicated, where what we do. We've got competitions, everything going. And yeah, so it's our Twitter handle is the same, the yellow cap. So hopefully, yeah, please join us and follow us and let's chat rugby or whatever sport you feel like.
Cool. And myself, as you can see in my background, that's where you can find me, at grit_sports. That's our Twitter handle. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Our Facebook page is more entertaining. We give you all the breaking news, but our main focus is storytelling, doing interviews with sports personalities, telling us their stories. You can find us at www.gritsports.co.za. I was standing in for Paul today on the Driving Maul. You can find him at Driving Maul on Twitter. He was away this week. You can join in the conversation. You can tweet us, have the conversation. If you disagree with our predictions, tweet us at the yellow cap, at grit_sports, at Driving Maul. If you disagree, we are more than keen to engage with you, and we can have a rugby discussion and discuss the round 10 previews with us. Thank you very much for joining us. See you guys next week.